The following podcast may contain spoilers.
Hello! It's been forever! As, you know, I think actually anyone that listens to this podcast is kind of used to this by now.
Yo, when breaks happen, they happen, man. It feels bad, but, you know, life happens.
Yeah, no, it's been tumultuous, and it will continue to be, but I am happy to be back in the seat. Hello and welcome everyone to the Treading the Path of Heaven podcast. I am your host, Jonathan Kinney, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host.
I'm Rich.
And today we're talking about a novel I'm kind of excited about. I picked it up on a whim and called Richard, or texted Richard a couple weeks ago and be like, yo, read this book. We gotta talk about
I've been reading it. The chapters are surprisringly long, too.
Yeah, no, I keep being like, I'll finish this chapter, and then I'm like, 10 minutes later, I'm like, fuck, I'm still in this chapter. Or if I accidentally go to the next chapter and start reading, I'm like, shit.
It is really addicting. It's really addicting. It's been a while since I've been in a situation where I guess I'll read it a bit. 3 hours later, oh God.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's addicting in a weird way. It's like really good junk food.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's not, it is, the story it is taking is like, in a way, cookie cutter. It's like a combination of all the fucking stories that like you would expect out of a JRPG or an isekai novel.
It's doing its nice spin. Let's set it up. It's The novel is Damn Reincarnation. And I actually had to go and tweet about it when I started reading. I got to chapter 2 and he said the title in chapter 2 in there. And I was like, you know, every book has like a situation or a time period, right? When they're going to say, like in I Shall Sow the Heavens, when it happened, it was super deep in, and he finally says it, and it's epic.
I have like a firm belief that any series that drops its title in the text, everything up to that point is a cold open. Everything past that is the real story.
That was a long code open in those books. This one, the code open is just like, hey, you're around. Hey, you're not around. Damn Reincarnation. And then we go and keep going.
All right. So this is a Korean novel. It's currently being translated on Wisha World. It's got 280-ish, 300-ish chapters out at the time of this recording. And it is, yeah, again, it's something I just kind of picked up on a whim. I was like, I think a book ended or something, and I was like, all right, well, time to pick a replacement. And this was on the front page, and I clicked it. This is, the story's name is Damn Reincarnation. It is a story about a hero who is reincarnated, but really the important story that we have to tell before we talk about that is the story of the Great Vermouth. Great Vermouth is the main character of a JRPG. He's literally the sword-wielding, magic-using, all-encompassing all-rounder that leads a party of the giant barbarian tank, the saintess of the holy religion of the world, the greatest magician who's ever existed, raised by the elves and grew up being birthed, like helped by the spirits in the world tree. Mm-hmm. And then the last member of their party, who, like, you know,
he's the Lancer.
Yeah,
he's the Lancer. He's the Dark Horse Lancer. That's why he's there. He's required for Vermouth to not to ripple effect off, but the way the main character sets up his role in the party, isn't super like he doesn't see his importance to the group.
Oh yeah,
and then as we read forward, you realize how vital he was.
It's insane. It's insane how much like. The dude is literally a master of combat, and I mean that in multiple ways. Like, Hamel is the name of this character, Hamel Dynus, and he was like the monk / weapon master of this party. I say that sort of because Vermouth existed and he was better at everyone at all fields.
He was
somehow.
perfect. He was better than everybody at literally everything that they are the best in the world at. Keep in mind, everyone's so good at everything and everyone's so talented. It's like, I was a genius. And I saw Vermouth.
And then I realized I wasn't. It took me years to admit that I wasn't a genius because Vermouth exists.
But and then the more you read this novel, the more insane Vermouth actually, like the more context you have and how insane Vermouth is as a character. Like, it's kind of insane how they set him up.
Yeah, no, basically, so like that's the party, right? It's the hero leading his 4 adventuring companions. They literally go a multiple decades spanning adventure through Helmuth, the land of demons.
In the north.
Systematically, like they're basically like their fight starts in Mordor and then ramps up because there's 5 demon kings.
They fight
at the beginning of the.
They beat 3.
They've already killed 3 at great personal expense.
Look, it's brutal. It's brutal.
And like this has been literally decades of them fighting as a team and comrades. And Hamill, despite being a genius of combat compared to anyone except Vermouth, his fighting style is very self-sacrificial. Like, he was born, as the book much later puts it, with a body that was much too weak for his talent.
Oh, yeah.
Like, the dude was incredible at manipulating mana. He is brutally efficient in combat. He understands tactics, and like his mind at understanding positioning and combat is unrivaled.
I will say the stories definitely has an opinion on nurture versus nature, as Hamill always had these talents that he has in this new body, but being in the new body and also getting access to all the things he has here versus where he came from nothing and had a bad mana training thing and had this trash and and made it work. Having all this stuff now, he's shining brighter than, I mean, even he wants to shine. Let's be real here.
That's very true. And like he doesn't slow his roll as time moves on, I'll say, as I've read a little bit farther than you, but it gets pretty absurd and I love it. But the Hamill, like, they're all going through, they've been fighting together for 16, 17 years at this point. And they're going to the 4th Demon King, the Demon King of Incarceration's castle. He's got literally like the queen of the succubi and incubi attacking them in their dreams literally every time they try to go to sleep. Their priest casts holy magic, but the barrier's getting thinner and thinner. The few times she's gotten in, it's like really fucked with them. They've got like one of the greatest swordsmen in the entire land of demons, the Blade of Incarceration, coming after them. They've been having to deal with literally like this huge sky-scaling tower that they're trying to be climbed with, that is literally filled with traps. And between the Barbarian and Hamill, they have basically been running headfirst into these traps to tank them. And we start the story pretty much with when Hamill has just finally crossed that last straw. Between the traps that have been hitting him, the soul attacks, and his own self-sacrificial powers, he's just had it. There's no more healing that can be done. His life force is fading away, and you just see him with his companions mourning over his dying body, and Hamill's like, fuck, I really wanted to survive, but you know what? I got this far. I took those hits. That health that I saved for them is going to be the difference, and they're going to go finish the job and take out all these fucking demons.
They're going to stop the Demon King. It's going to be great. I saved Vermouth. I'm going out like a G. This is going to be great.
If Vermouth is here, there's still hope. So we pretty much won at this point. I know I'm dying, but like this, I couldn't have asked to be a more meaningful death. And then it cuts there, and then it goes into 300 years from there. There's a straight 300-year time skip from that point to the next point we're aware of, which is when Hamill, in full awareness of his memories of Hamill 300 years ago, gets reincarnated. Oh, and by the way, Hamill was not like he was a decent-looking guy. He had that like kind of like rugged torn up, scarred warrior kind of look.
Compared to Vermouth, though, he was not. Vermouth's like a Vichy boy, like stereotypical.
Vermouth is your fucking your Ikemen, like fucking
yeah, dude.
Like this is the again main character of the story. Like he's perfect in every aspect, including charisma and looks. But we find our main character Hamill, and he has been reborn into Vermouth's lineage. It's like a branch family. He's off in the boonies, but he is a member of the Lionheart clan. And Hamill is pissed about this for multiple reasons. One, all the ability he has in this life makes him feel almost taunted. Like, it makes it feel like Vermouth was, like, somehow for 300 years away taunting him with how much better his potential is in the body of his descendant than it was originally. So it's like, it's all those things about not being a genius that he had to come to terms with. Absolutely, just like, he can't help but admit how much better this life is, or this body is, for what he's trying to do. And the other reason that I guess there's two other reasons. The second other reason is that demons are still there. Apparently, after he dies, Vermouth went and made a pact with the Demon King of Incarceration, and there's just been a peace between them and the demons for 300 years. Nobody knows what was in the oath. Nobody that does know will talk about it.
The oath, bro. The biggest mystery of this story. At least where I'm at.
Vermouth walks up to the top of Babel. He talks to the Demon King of Incarceration. They don't fight. And then, like, Vermouth and his party just leave.
They go into a little bit more detail. Sometimes we get a flashback. It's like everybody, like, we always get this reference is, especially when Tempest is talking to him, the sword, the King of the Wind.
Yeah, Wined,
Wined, and there's Tempest is the King of Wind or whatever. And it's like, he's like, Hamill, you weren't there, so they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So it's like,
I was the weakest dude. I wasn't strong. What do you mean they couldn't do it without me?
It's like, no, they couldn't do it without you.
He understood perfectly his role in terms of, like, in combat, but he did not understand how much he was the emotional linchpin of the party.
He was the heart of the party. Literally the heart.
Yeah, it's like if in Avatar, right before they went in to attack the final assault on the Fire Lord, somebody just came up and, like, fucking stabbed Sokka in the back.
Yeah, Sokka's dead, by the way. Have fun.
And then, like, ran away. It's like, there's no way they would have won.
Go fight Fire Lord Ozai when you know Sokka died, and he died saving you. Have a good time with that.
I mean, like, it's a good analogy, because that's exactly how it would have gone down. But that's not where the life we're at anymore. So this dude who spent 16 years in life or death struggles against the demons, knows the dark depraved shit they're up to, knows what dark wizards represent, has seen all the worst, most terrible things both demons and humans are capable of, suddenly is resurrected in the midst of 300 years of legitimate peacetime. And the world has changed in, like, an insane amount. Hellmouth is no longer, the demon's capital is no longer, like, a oppressive force. It's a place people go, like, as tourism.
Oh yeah, they living good out there too. It's like, yo, you give us a monthly, you just give us a little bit of your life force. You can live here. We got universal health care, universal payment.
They literally
you don't have to do work.
There's two deals you could do to move to Hellmouth. The first one is the thing that most people take, which is live here, we'll give you a place to live, we'll give you enough money to, like, support yourself, like, you'll be able to eat and live comfortably, and all you have to do is once a month give us some life force. And they describe that basically, that's not like a permanent, like, that's not like taking years off your life. That's like literally like you're tired for a day.
Yep. Or you can live crazy. You can sell your afterlife to the demon king
for 10 years.
Give me 10 years after you die of undead servitude. 10 years of just doing basic work.
And you are basically promoted to the nobility during your life.
Ball out of control. And if you make more money than we give you, you can buy back your soul. It's fine. Just buy it back.
Yeah, it's like it's weird because the demon world has basically become this hybrid of, like, corporate America.
Yeah, it's definitely some post-capitalist.
It is.
like fucking like supply side heaven for them over there. It's fucking crazy.
And Eugene/Hamill is listening to this, and he's like, "Wait, humans are just going over there and chilling? But what about the blood-curdling need to murder every demon I see?"
Dude, when he went to just skip ahead a little bit. When he went to Aeroth, whatever, and saw how the black wizards, black magic's practiced in Aeroth?
Yeah, Aeroth, the capital of magic, has a black tower? What the fuck?
Oh, there's a black tower? Wait, people are selling their souls for they were studying demonic magic? Wait, hold up. We're not murdering succubuses on sight? What is happening?
What is wrong with this world? And that is the other reason why freaking Hamill is so pissed about this. It's just, he's like, what is this world? So this dude is the doctor coming in, the ninth doctor. Like, this is a dude who has lived his entire life in war and murder. He's literally, the demon folk called him Hamill of Massacre. That was their name for him. But he gets reincarnated, and like, all of his companions, like, nobody knows what happened to him. Vermouth obviously came back and like established the Lionheart clan, but then he dies, like, he died, and there's a tomb for him in the Lionheart estate, and then like the Saintess Anise went off on a pilgrimage and hasn't been heard of from since.
200 years. Sienna, the one that was the most hit by him dying, has vanished out of nowhere after creating witchcraft. Vanished.
Yeah. Witchcraft, the greatest, like, basically reinvents how magic should be used. It sets up a thing where, like, anyone can learn it from here if they're good enough, and then, like, goes off on a journey to go do some shit. Hasn't been seen for, 150 years or something?
Yeah, and she's not dead. There's no way she's dead. She's too powerful to die like that.
Yeah, she's too powerful to die. He knows she's not dead, and there are signs that kind of, like, prove that she's not dead, but she has definitely not been seen. For a long time, and like the barbarian went off and like became a king, and like
the dumbest one of them all, the fool, the barbarian of your party, who solves problems by tackling it, is now the king of an empire. But like, no, it's not okay. It's not okay.
I forgot the last reason why he's pissed. It's because his companions, he suspects his companions, because no one else could have known the details of the story, wrote a fairy tale about their time against the Demon Kings. And he's known, it's like there's the Great Vermouth, the Wise Sienna, the Faithful Anise,
the Brave Molon.
The Brave Molon.
And then the Stupid Hamill.
It's Stupid Hamill. He's basically Dudley Don't, or like whatever the fucking like.
Yeah, and he's there to make the story interesting. Yeah. Because he's the one who's like the only person that would face off against Vermouth, and he would make the wrong decisions, but he would always gives up his life.
Everybody else in the first life was like, saw Vermouth and was like, well, that's a thing I'm not going to be able to do. I better like improve myself because maybe I need to get on his level. Hamill's like, no, I'm going to fucking surpass Vermouth. I will never give up until I beat Vermouth. And then like at some point internally he realized that was never going to happen, but externally he didn't give it up.
Imagine trying to beat somebody for 20 years and you just every step you take forward, he takes 3 steps.
There was a part in a flashback where they were talking about him, and he's like, well, I mean, he was always perfect and transcendent. And I mean, sure, over the last 15 years, he's become more perfect and transcendent. But he was then at the start, too.
He was just better than everybody and all the...
as long as he was there is hope.
As long as he's there, there's hope. But like every time we get like a flashback of a battle of Vermouth fighting, Hamill's doing almost as much work as Vermouth. Like literally. Like when they fought Kamash, the giant king or whatever, the first son of the demon king of fury, like it was Hamill and Vermouth fighting that guy, and everybody was handling everything else and protecting the... By the way, they have just casually, there's a giant army of the light backing them, but they're so irrelevant to the fight that is just casually mentioned.
Oh well, that actually becomes more explained later on. There is a whole army of the light, but they didn't survive through the first 3 Demon Kings areas. Like there were like people fighting with them that they'd come across, people that were like struggling and fighting the good fight. Demon King incarceration territory? No, there was death, destruction, and running.
Oh shit! That explains everything. Like where I'm at in the book, we just got to like we're dealing with elves, and we're talking to a guy who was there in the fight with them and knew Sienna and Hamill, and they're talking to him, and they're just reminiscing about it, and then how bad that Irish chick was that Vermouth was fighting off against, and what she was doing to other elves. Mm-hmm. Like this story gets kind of brutal when it explains both what Hamill does to people and what gets done to other people by the Demon King, by the Demon Kings.
No, I love that the entire world has de-escalated like 10 levels, and he's still up at max level, and is like, and thinks he's correct to be so. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with everyone else?
I mean,
no, he's like, he comes back in it. He's like, well, if you guys didn't finish killing off the Demon Kings, I guess I'm gonna have to do it now.
Go do it.
And so then,
they worse than death. Those demons probably deserve, bro. Like,
oh, and that's not even talking about the Demon King of Destruction, the 5th Demon King, which like basically the party saw him one time, and he was like off in a valley, like miles away from them. And they all started like having fucking panic attacks and freaking the fuck out. Like they saw that, and either Muth is like, that's not a thing that can be fought.
Like the way they explained him, he's like, I saw him in a distance once. It was more like he was more of a slime than he was a man. Like the way he explained it, it was like a force of nature, and not a being.
Yeah, it's like trying to go fight a hurricane. Like it's like, good luck, I guess.
We supposed to do that?
But it's and so like they're all like, let's finish the Demon King of Incarceration and then like brainstorm, I guess. They have no idea how to fight that thing. They're just like, we're not going to deal with it until Thor is dead.
Them setting up like labyrinths or a real thing that wizards make, or that things make, like the fact that they set up like, so labyrinths, every RPG trope is in this, right?
Yeah, it is filled with tropes, but like almost all of them are used interestingly and adapted to this world and setting.
Oh yeah. I loved the circle magic system Sienna made. I loved the time we spent where where they go over and they explain the circles, how it functions, how you make it work, the styles of magic, and him working on his own, modifying his own cultivation system, and then adding the circles to the white flame formula. Dude,
I really wonder if that's what Vermouth did as well, because I remember Sienna was always like, what the fuck is going on with your magic, Vermouth? How does it work? I don't understand it. When this is all done, you gotta let me get you on like a lab table. I gotta understand how your magic works, Vermouth. So I'm wondering if it's similar to that.
Dude,
where he incorporated the white line or like the white flame formula into it.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Considering he didn't, like when he was born, like he fought himself when he was a child. He fought himself out of demon territory and over to the Empire before becoming everything around him was dead. He was trying to lead all his people.
Oh, he was literally in the group of slavers. Like he was in a slavers caravan. He had been caught, and he was just like, an opportunity presented himself. He picked up a sword, killed the entire group of slavers, took the slaves that were with him, started leading them out. And as he's doing this, like freeing more slaves, and the caravan keeps growing until he's got this massive Spartacus fucking slave rebellion that he's just leading out of Helmuth.
He's like, we went to this water, and then in the Gospel of Vermouth that they don't like to read, Vermouth parted the Red Sea for the slaves to get walk past, like the way they talk about, dude, or or Tempest talking about Vermouth is like, I'm pretty sure Vermouth is not a person that would be limited by lifespan. Whatever he was no longer something I would call human at the end there.
Yeah.
And then that was like, so you're saying Vermouth was a god?
I mean, it was something. Something was going on with Vermouth. And, like, honestly, I still don't understand the depth of Vermouth at this point in the story. I'm looking forward to getting more insight. But the book, like, so obviously Hamill is like, well, I'm gonna carry on the quest. I'm keeping on. I'm gonna find out what happened to my companions. I'm gonna get strong, and then I'm gonna go kill the Demon Kings. And so, but as he's like doing this, he starts finding things. Like Sienna always wanted to teach him magic, but he refused. They always wanted to try and fix his cultivation system that he had created, like because he basically had the crappiest cultivation system as Hamill.
He spent money on it, and it was bad.
Yeah, it was a dude, like some shitty mercenary sold it to him for nothing. And he trained with it because he had nothing else. And by the time they got around to him, he was so good at using it that even using a better one would like completely cripple his ability to fight in the short term. So it's like they never upgraded his formula because it was too ingrained. They never taught him magic because he was too stubborn to learn it. He wanted to beat Vermouth on his own skills. It's like everything, all the things that, and like, his body was too weak to actually handle what he was doing. He had the best mana control ever, but his mana was of the shittiest quality. It's like all the things that kept him back in his previous life are 100% fixed by his reincarnation into the Lionheart bloodline. Because he is like not only is he Hamill and knows who he is, like Hamill was not just one of those like geniuses, like he was the dude that was up 2 hours before the rest of the party fucking lifting weights and swinging his sword and like doing that before they went to bed as well. Like he
not to quote some Naruto shit, but the genius of hard work, Hamill, the genius of hard work, as like when they explained his training regimens, even with the way he trained mana, since he didn't have mana breathing, he had a physical mana cultivation style where he's just like, yeah, I would just explode my mana inside my body and then use mana to move my body like it was blood.
It's basically the fucking advanced system from King and Ashura that's like, let me pump my heart faster so I can get super abilities, but also I will die eventually because I'm using this. Eventually, my heart's just gonna go.
Yeah, ignition. Ignition is advanced. It really is just advanced. Yeah, you're right. It is. It's advanced. Oh, man.
But it's like, we've talked a lot about the 300 years ago story, but that's like literally like half of chapter 1. Like that's how much world building and shit they put into this. And then so like we're left off with Hamill as basically our narrator, and he's kind of unreliable because he had a 300-year gap in knowledge. So all he knows is hatred, basically. And he's put into this super peaceful world. And like basically the only reason he doesn't start immediately rampaging is because he's like, I can't ruin Vermouth's reputation. I care too much about him as a comrade.
I love my comrades too much to do that. Dude, I love his reincarnated dad. He's barely in the story, but I love Gerhard. Gerhard's so precious.
Gerhard just like realized what he had on his hands, and he's like, I have no fucking ability to manage how talented this kid is.
I'm not good enough for a child this blessed. I will do my best.
And he did do very well by him as much as he could. But like, he's just a good dad. But the story starts moving forward. He starts training. Like he basically shows off that he shows off his talent at one point, and it's so overwhelmingly stronger than even the like direct descendants of the bloodline. That he gets started giving preferential treatment in the family, and like is able to use like the separate bloodlines have all been given like an inferior version of Vermouth's ability. Only the main family is allowed to use the real White Flame formula. So it's like, but like he's allowed. They make an exception for him because
he's that good.
They're like, fuck.
Also, Gilead's a good dude.
Gilead, yeah, the clan patriarch. I actually really like most of the Lionhearts we're introduced to.
They're all anime characters that could realistically be like MCs, like even like Carmen. I'm a big Carmen fan who appears later because
Carmen is just a fucking old Chunibyo, man.
Yeah, but it's great. It's great. You got the power to back it up.
Just there's a scene of her just sitting in a chair with like a light, like a Zippo-esque lighter, just like flicking it and closing it, just waiting for someone to ask her about it.
Chewing on a cigar. Never light it. All right, never light it.
She doesn't want to light it. She just wants to chew on it for the visual look.
Fake drinking alcohol. She don't actually drink alcohol. It's just a red juice that looks like alcohol, and she has a real alcohol bottle there, but can't let nobody know that. All right.
And her naming sense is terrible, which is great. Everyone who interacts with her and knows what she names shits and their origin gets embarrassed around.
It's like you're supposed to be my great aunt, but you act more like a child than anything.
Well, Hamill's in such a weird position, and it's like the fact that they really explore the position he's in is, I think, what endears me to this book so much. Like, there's so much of like him being like wanting to treat these people as like true peers because they are like his age-ish, but then he also kind of sees them all as like Vermouth's grandchildren. So there's like this like weird like sense of like endearment towards them. Not that he shows it in his actions, because he's a cold, rational motherfucker. Like,
who knows how good he is? I love how he never hides. He doesn't hide the talent, right? If you figure out I'm reincarnated, yo, I'll admit it. But for now, I'm so good looking. I'm so good at this. I'm so talented. You shouldn't compete with me because I'm just that much better than you.
And I'm not saying this to be mean. These are facts.
These are facts.
And then they're like, no, they're not. We could beat you. And like that's like CL and Cyan, the two children of the current patriarch of the Lionheart clan. They show up and they're like, oh, what is this kid? Oh, he grew up in the boonies. Must smell like cow shit. And he's like, you want to say that to my face again?
You see, I thought I was gonna hate Cyan too, and he grew. They do all of them grow on me. They're all precious in the novel.
Hamill like he doesn't. He's a good dude, but he does not give a shit about like people's feelings or like treating people gently. He just like fucking goes for it. I mean, he actually does in a sense, but it doesn't look like it because him gentle is like still like him of wartime mentality gentle. So it's like, well, had I not being gentle, you would have lost both your arms and your head in that attack.
Yeah.
But, instead I just parried all your shit and made you look like an idiot.
Yeah, I didn't kill him. I just destroyed all of his limbs. If he survives, he deserves it.
Yeah.
I was being kind.
And then there's like the time where they see him like first fight something that's like a monster or something, like in the fucking...
the Minotaur.
The Minotaur.
Oh, yo.
There's like, it's basically the fucking My Hero scene where it's like, oh, you gotta go fight all these things and earn some points and get to the center of the thing, but there's this one monster that you definitely shouldn't
You're supposed
fight.
to work together to kill it. But it's like, no, I can beat it by myself, but I'm gonna let you guys try.
Yeah, no,
put you in your places.
You guys try first. And they do like a decent attempt, but they get beat pretty soundly. And then he goes and like dissects it like he's taking apart a cardboard box he just took something out of, like...
Well, like
the ease and efficacy with which he dismembers this thing that's like 100 times physically stronger than him.
Dude, like the Cyan POV of watching that, and then for years, every time he go to sleep, he dream about homeboy doing it. So he's been focusing on the sword when he really should have been focusing on shields because he's gonna be good with that. But he's just been so focused on homeboy dissecting it with that sword.
I just love that he's like, here's a training method. I'm gonna write down some shit. You can do this. If you do this, you'll definitely improve. And he does that, and it's like, here's like a little bitch baby version of my training methods that I used to do back in the real day. Like, it's the kindest, easiest thing, and they look at it, it's like, this is fucking Spartan training. What is this?
It's like, there's no way this is real. He's like, and then Eugene's like, Hamill,
well, it's not
/ Eugene. It's like, yeah, it's real. I did it. This is what I did. Go ahead and give it a shot. He's like,
you could say it's not real, but it's how I just beat you.
Dude. Crazy.
It's so like he starts meeting all these people from the New World and building relationships, and a lot of them are really interesting. Like, I really like the Tower Masters from Aeroth.
Rebellion is the shit, dude.
Dude, yeah, the Red Master.
Red Master.
Dude, oh my god. He's a summoner. Like, that's his, like, specialty. And each of the archwizards, like, once you reach a certain level, you basically stop. There's not spells for you to learn. Every spell past that is basically a personal creation that's attuned to the way you do magic. Like, no one has created the upper spells. They're all too specific. So, like, people at a certain point, like, create their signature spells, and his is so fucking badass. I'm not going to go into it.
I'm looking forward to seeing what his unique spells are, because I got a taste of him, or like a taste of man, I love the Magic City stuff, man. Like, I love the time in the library. I love the research. I love we don't allow you to eat in the library here because too many wizards who are basically magic addicts anyway get stuck here and would stay here until they died. So we force you to have to eat outside, so you leave. That's a rule we had to write down because too many people died not following directions.
Yep.
Like,
everyone in the city is fucking, like, psychotically obsessed with magic. And yet they all suck at it compared to Eugene / Vermouth / Sienna.
I mean, the fact that he did something, he's like, I'm pretty sure what you're doing is impossible. You want to use your mana cores as circles?
That shouldn't be possible. I think I can do it. Let me try it.
I think I can do it.
Hold 1 second. Hold my beer.
It's like what he's doing requires such intricate mana control that it should be impossible to do it on the fly. And he's doing it without incantations. He's just doing the math. Because all magic is math, by the way. All magic is complex math.
Yeah.
Unless it's spirit magic and divine magic. That's not complex math.
And you know, that might also be complex math. It's just the spirits are doing it, not you. I couldn't tell you for sure. But, oh god. But, like, the story is pretty, like, it's formulaic in a way, but it's the execution of the formula that really sells this story. Because, like, it's a story that is filled with tropes. Like, I'm not going to deny that. It is, like, even from the setup of the stereotypical JRPG heroes party, like, it's all very obviously set up to be about tropes. But, like, the author is clearly aware of that. They are choosing to use tropes because it establishes well-known story details that then they can subvert. And write their own story about and fill in with, like, blank questions about, like, what's going on with this missing time in history. And that's basically what Eugene is. Like, much as you personally are like, what the fuck happened in these 300 years between this mission and his reincarnation, Eugene and Hamill want to know that just as much. So, like, they start going out to figure it out. You know, they start trying to figure out. That's why he went to the City of Magic. He's like, what happened to Sienna? Like, what happened to her? Like, I gotta find her. You know, what happened to Anise and all those things. So it's like the story from the beginning is basically him trying to figure out what happened in the gap of time that he doesn't know about, him trying to get stronger and, like, build a much more perfected fighting form than he had in his previous life, and him dealing with the shit that is attacking him, because that happens fairly frequently as well. Probably because the fucking, I mean, dark wizards and demons and shit are all low-key kind of getting the feeling that he wants to kill all of them.
I mean, that's true. But to be fair, they're also all planning to kill everybody anyway, so it's like, you know.
Yeah, no, well, that's the other thing, is that apparently the oath that they made is, like,
running out.
Yeah, it's coming to an end soon, and nobody knows what was in the oath, so we don't know what the fuck is about to happen. And what that means, like, what was the oath? So, like, Eugene is sitting there trying to figure out what the fuck happened to Vermouth, what happened to Anise, what happened to Molon, what happened to Sienna, what happened with the oath, why didn't we finish this job? Like, why did you leave me to finish your fucking work, Vermouth?
Why did you reincarnate me? Because one of you powerful bastards, either Sienna, Anise, or Vermouth, one of y'all reincarnated me. I don't know how y'all did this. One of y'all did it. That's his theory. Poor Molon. He doesn't even get...
But there's been, like, things that have been prepared for him. Like, so there's, like, you know, he'll find shit that is very clearly meant for the resurrected Hamill, not just some random dude. You know what I mean? Like, it's a necklace that he wore as Hamill in the Vermouth's treasure, like, storage. That, like, no one else would look at or give a second look, but of course he would see it and be like, hey, there's the necklace I wore for 30 years. So it's like all these things are prepared. So, like, there's clearly a plan and intent behind his reincarnation, but no one bothered to tell him what it was. And so you and Eugene and all that are trying to figure that out as the book goes on. And I don't know. So far, I'm having a really good time with it. I recently caught up to what is translated. It is still ongoing. But
I've been reading like a maniac. I only made it to 109, so I'm the fact that like I have a lot more left to catch up to before I'm F5ing. And it's Korean. I figured it'd be ending at like 200, but apparently not.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly could not tell you how long the story is going to be. Half of me is like, we're just starting. This is a 10th of the way through the story, and this is going to be a fucking epic that's going to go crazy. And then the other half of me is, this story could end in 5 more arcs. Like, and both of those are equally likely to me. I've been debating how far in we are into this story heavily, and I'm not really sure. But no, I could say that there are like arcs devoted to him trying to figure out what happened to his companions. Like you said, the one in the Magic City with Sienna, very choice, very excellent arc. But the one for where he tries to figure out what happened to Molon is awesome. Like, I fucking love that because you get to kind of see the kingdom that Molon created. And like what's happened to that since he was gone. And then there was and of course we're trying to figure out what happened to Anise, which the arc in the Holy City may be what actually sold me on this story. Like, up until then I was kind of like, I enjoy this, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure. When I got to that arc, I was like, fuck, dog, I'm in. Let's go.
Dude, I gotta get to it now because I've been sold. The learning magic arc sold me on the story so far. Like, I was gonna do like a little reading. I'll read the first couple arcs. Yeah, I like it. The magic system, the magic training, and those characters, and then coming back and revisiting his siblings after the time skip, and you know, Cyan just wanted to spend time with his brother, and you know, like them actually treating him like family. And he was like, "I made my decision." And Eugene being the way he is, like, it's just great, bro. Like, or like the flashbacks, the feelings of friendship and brotherhood you get in the flashbacks of him getting the revelations from the sword. Like, I appreciate those. Like, going to your own tomb and seeing how much everyone cared about you and actually getting to see it.
Dude, it's very touching and heartwarming. The companionship, the bond that the 5 had 300 years ago is so intense, and it's understated how intense it was. Like, the further you go into the story and the more you see of the shit that they went through together, the more you start to understand why Hamill 300 years later is like, without missing a beat, is let's continue this story. I'm going to pick it up for all of them. I couldn't do anything else. I love them too much. But it's like, despite being this dude that it comes like, his entire existence is based around hatred of darkness. And yet, despite that, most of his motivations are love, which is like, I love this dude. Hamill is such a good, like, grouchy, fucking irritated protagonist. Because he is just constantly aggravated.
I mean, as well as, I mean, he's just an old crotchety man at this point, right?
He's basically a child, but he's a child that has the mentality of an old dude sitting on his front porch yelling at the kids.
Like seeing him talk to people who are older than him and explain to them, like, when he like gets angry enough to drop character and talk like he is what is it? He was 38 when he died, and he was 20 something now. So talk like a 58-year-old man to these people.
A 58-year-old soldier.
Like, yo, I love when he drops. When he drops the mask, it's so good. It's so good.
It really is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more that I could talk about this story. Partly I'm not going to do that because Richard's still reading it, and partly I'm not going to do that because, like, honestly, it's worth discovering on your own.
Yeah. I did get a kick out of it when he had the flashback of when he was a young mercenary genius and was naming all of his moves, and how Vermouth remembered the name of all the moves, even though he stopped using it for years, like 15 years. He never said any of this stuff. But homeboy just, because I assumed that Vermouth had some form of autism or something, but he just attached everything to it. And then pass down the style to
pass down the Hamill style to
his descendants.
Dude, you got it. You got to practice the Hamill style until you've learned Asura Rampage.
Dude, Asura Rampage. And he's like, do you say it out loud? Do you say it, Asura Rampage, out loud? Well, I mean, it gives it more power when you...
This is like, it's the scene of Ainz being embarrassed by his fucking German world creation. NPC creation. Like, it's absolutely him looking at his embarrassing past and having it thrown in his face. I will say one of my favorite things is when somebody brings up the fairy tale and they're like, stupid Hamill, and he's always like, oh, Hamill, wasn't he like basically the best of that group? Like, he was, I mean, everybody else gave up, but he's the only one that really chased Vermouth. I heard he was like really rugged and handsome.
He had rogue good looks.
And that really masculine energy about it.
The masculine energy, dude. and he's like trying to maintain his face, but not. It's like, I am talking about myself right now, and I need to not.
He can't help it. He's so fucking proud. But also ashamed.
You saw he immediately bonded with the patriarch. When the patriarch is like, truth be told, my favorite in this story is Hamill. He just made everything so much more fun. He's like, yeah, my favorite's Hamill too.
Yeah, absolutely. This guy gets it.
This guy gets it.
Damn Reincarnation. I'm a big fan. If you're looking for another book to read, I think it's definitely worth putting on your list. Is there anything specifically that you want to talk about?
I mean, I don't want to spoil anything.
That's the thing. It's like there's not that much of it.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything. It's just it's really fun to just. It's just a fun read, right? Like
It is, yeah.
Because it's such a fun page turner, and because Hamill himself is such a good, he's a good MC, in that he also doesn't have the same Koreanisms you see in novels. Mm-hmm. He's really good.
Yeah, honestly, for a while, I wasn't sure if this was a Chinese. Sorry, I wasn't sure if this was a Chinese or a Korean novel because of how hard the main character went.
He is more Chinese in like stereotypical Chinese MC than he is Korean in the brutality of how he handles things. Mm-hmm. Very Chinese. All right. How much he acts like a scoundrel when he's talking to people he knows more of them. Very Chinese. The fact that there's an auction in this, multiple auctions in this, and he rips people off and robs people for their stuff.
Yeah, he's the young master.
Chinese.
He's the young master.
He is the young master. He's gonna do it.
He is actually in this thing though. He does have the Lionheart name backing him up. He absolutely has the social credit to do that shit.
It's so good, dude. Remember when he blackmailed the Emir, and he used the name of the Lionheart to get more money out of the guy? Like, I could tell him that I killed all the sand stuff, but I'm not gonna do that. So just for my pain, I'm gonna need 1 billion sows from you right now. You know what? Give me that whole box. Give me that whole box right there.
The whole box. Yeah,
I don't want to have to let the Lionheart clan and the Kill Kingdom know what happened here.
It would be bad for you. I just want to spare you that pain.
Oh yeah. I think talk about went to the desert and took captain of the guard and turned it into his manservant. I appreciate that.
He just casually, I'm a genius. I fought my entire life. I'm one of the most deadly people in this entire desert. Oh God, I'm a little bitch. Please let me serve you forever.
Oh God! Oh my God! You put your life on the line to save me, and almost like I wasn't.
I didn't. There was no risk of me losing my life.
There was no risk. I really wasn't trying that hard.
You don't owe me a life debt. He's like, oh, you saved my life. I would have definitely been dead without you. And it's like, well, then you're a little bitch, man. Like, that's not my problem.
You're not good enough. You're good enough to help Nina. And he's like, but I'm your right hand man. No, you're not. If anybody's my right hand man, Nina's my right hand man. You're her assistant. It's so good. It's so good.
Dude,
I appreciate it.
He keeps bringing people back to the Lionheart Man estate accidentally. Setting people up as guests and servants. Largely against his will in many cases.
This makes me want to check out the guy who wrote this. His other... Okay, the other thing he wrote was something called Possessing Nothing. Magma, the other thing he wrote is Possessing Nothing. Seems like he likes martial arts and mercenaries, because Possessing Nothing's about a mercenary.
Okay.
He did Desire, and he did Return of Godly Control.
All these do sound like they line up with what he's written in Damn Reincarnation, so that checks out. No, I should look into some of these other stories if they're translated, because I really appreciate this guy's writing style. It is just like aggressively fun to read. It's not trying to be classy or like write the greatest novel ever. Like, it's not trying to be an I Shall Seal the Heavens or like an epic. It's just telling the story it wants to tell, and like with really good pacing, with fun, like a really good sense of fun and humor. And like you feel bad for this guy. Like, he really got a shitty role in his first life. So seeing him be able to like experience some of this like minor happiness in this life that he appreciates is like so wholesome. It's so satisfying when he finds it. Because you're rooting for him, you know?
Also, like, to read a Korean novel with a mature main character, he's not deliberately trying to be edgy for the sake of edgy. He knows how to speak with women. He knows how to function around people. He understands how to read a room, which is so nice. I've read a lot of Korean novels. It's so nice to have an MC that knows how to read a room.
No, he does. He knows how to read a room. He'll go and like do subtle shit in the background to put things in a good direction, and like one or two people will realize it, and like that's really what impresses the adults around him. I mean, I think more than his insane aptitude for things, which is outrageous. Like, it's just the maturity that he comes into conversations with. Like, you know, like the entire Lionheart clan is like, oh shit, this dude's gonna usurp our whole power structure and take over the main family and fuck everything up. And he's like out the gate being like, I am not going to become the patriarch. I do not want to become the patriarch. I will not become the patriarch. You cannot force me to do it.
I will never. That kind of responsibility. You're not gonna take my freedom away. Also, I'm not gonna be the hero. You can fuck right off with that. It ain't for me. I don't give a fuck what the sword says. I don't care about your god.
There's so many calls of adventure that happen to him that he's just like, fuck that. No.
Dude, I love that he just like, he does middle fingers to the, it's like, send this to your god. Let him know this. It's like, yo, that's my goal. That's my goal.
Okay, this is a non sequitur, but the fucking Black Wizard in Aeroth, the leader of the Black Wizard Tower, Balzac that just shows up. He's literally like the most polite, cordial, and helpful person in this entire story to Eugene, and Eugene's like, "I'm gonna shit in your breakfast. Fucking hate you, you sick motherfucker."
If I was more powerful, I'd fucking kill you. Also, yo, Balzac is terrifying too. Like low key, he's being polite, but he's not being polite. He's getting something out of being polite.
There's so calculated intent behind his actions, and it's so obvious, and I still have no idea what that dude wants.
I have no idea what he's playing, but the fact that, like, we run into the other Black Wizard, that Amelia chick, and she's like, oh, if I let you live, he'll owe me a favor? Keep on, this lady is terrifying enough.
Oh, yeah. No, she's a fucking hardcore
necromancer. Not a joke. So much so that she was talking back to a demon king. That lady's scary as hell.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, Balzac, he can owe me a favor."
Yeah, she wants something from him.
Dude, what the hell? That guy's scary as hell.
I love that dude was like, "We're gonna make you the head of the Blue Tower of Magic," and he's like, "Nah,
it's
bye. I'm gonna go become a Black Wizard. It's too easy for me."
Imagine being that good that you go, "Yeah, I am already good enough to beat a Tower Master." What is he getting from being a Black Wizard that he couldn't get from normal magic?
I actually do kind of know the answer to that, but I'm not going to go into it yet.
Oh, dude, I'm so curious.
I don't know what he wants with it or what he's getting. Like, I don't know what he's getting out of it, but I do
enough
understand
to sell
what he got.
your soul. It's gotta be fucking good, bro.
It's pretty good.
Because that's the requirement for black magic. You gotta sell your soul. Like,
Yeah,
you don't get an afterlife, bro. And usually it's something that like non-talented wizards do. But
but these people all had the skills and did it anyway. Yeah,
but he did it anyway.
Yeah.
What the hell?
No, he's a dude that's chasing the peak of magic, and that's always a scary fucking dude. Like,
He'll do anything.
I don't know how close he is or like what that's gonna do to the story, but that's his kind of goal, and those kind of dudes are scary. It's like it's a zealot in another sense, you know. Except the zealousness is for his obsession.
Also, like the D&D nerd in me nerded out when like the familiars casually mentioned, "Yeah, we need to do this because we wizards are so magic addicts, they'll die researching and then turn themselves into liches so they can continue researching their magic, and we need this. We have rules to stop that." I'm like, oh god, it really is. It really is all of the D&D tropes a story, and it's Korean, guys. But guess what? Please read it. There's no system. No system.
Oh my god. Yeah, there isn't a system in a Korean novel. I didn't even know that was actually possible. I thought that was illegal.
It's systemless, and it's so much better for it because the writing's so much better for it. Nothing against the system. I don't mind the system. Let me tell you, this shit don't need no system. It don't need no gods interacting with it. The main character, if there was a system, the main character would tell the system to fuck right off. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's great. Like, this whole story is like a world that's literally like this whole collection of fucking meteors that have been frozen in time. And it, like, the main character is a fucking ball that's been thrown at one of them, starting the biggest fucking chain reaction of all these huge things that have just been on the rocks for 300 years are, because of his influence, once again starting to move. And you're watching this chain reaction caused by his reincarnation just move its way through the world as like events start happening everywhere.
He truly is the game breaker. He's gonna flip the table. At least everywhere he seems to go, he flips the table, and that is so fun to read. That's why I love reading Nine Star. Head to my body art, because that's literally Long Chin. Long Chin shows up and he flips the fucking table, and he shows up. Flips the table.
He and Long Chin have very similar ideas about how enemies should be treated. But yeah, no, highly recommend this book. If you're not reading it, give it 5-10 chapters, see what you think. It pretty much starts right from the get-go, and it's been a fun ride the entire time for me. Anyway, if you would like to get in touch with us, the best way is definitely to come join our Discord and reach out to us there. You can also hit up Richard at DGenGod.
Yep, at DGenGod. I tweet about what I'm reading about. And where can they find you if they're looking for you?
I'd say that they could try and find me on Twitter, but honestly, just hit me up on Discord. It's way easier to find me that way. But you can also email us at tiger.rollercoaster@gmail.com. I feel like I'm missing something in my head in this process.
It's been a while. It has been a while. We need to thank our patrons for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to James and Yuki Okami, and I think we had one more that is at that level. And Samuel.
And Samuel, shout outs to Tyrone, shout outs to everybody.
Yeah. We appreciate all your support, guys, especially, as we joked about at the beginning of the episode, the hiatuses that we end up frequently taking here, but we appreciate your support. It's a blast to be able to watch you guys and occasionally participate in talking with you guys in chats on the Discord. So we're here for you guys, and we appreciate all your support.
And please check out our on Discord. I mean, we're trying to build a little bit of community there. We've been talking about stuff, and I've gotten so many books added to my reading list because of that Discord.
Yeah,
so come check
absolutely.
It out.
There's a bunch of people that both are able to help you find where to read a book and also which books you should read. And we've got people that are dipping their toes in lots of different pools there, so you get a lot of suggestions.
More things. I've learned more about lit RPGs in the last month than I think I didn't even know that section of the internet, but it's cool.
It's cool. It is. But we will, I think we're probably going to try and get back to another book. I know there's one of our guys that's threatening to join our $50 tier on Patreon just to force us to read something and review it. So we'll probably be getting into that sooner rather than later. But yeah. Fantastic book. Highly recommend so far. We'll see if it sticks the landing, but honestly, I'm pretty confident it's going to. Everything in this book has been written with pretty clear intention, and most of those intentions that have paid off already have been very satisfying.
Every single one has been good, and this definitely goes on my big recommend list.
Yeah,
it's just too fun.
Yeah, if you're trying to find a Korean novel, despite it being filled with tropes, it is weirdly enough one of the most unique Korean novels I've read so far. But let's see. I guess that'll bring us to our final segment, and one of my favorites. We didn't even have time to talk about that. So, Richard, what didn't we have time to talk about of what you've read?
Oh, yeah. Okay. We didn't get the chance to talk about giant testicles.
This is the first thing I was going to say to you.
Didn't get the chance to talk about giant testicles or how it becomes a system. It becomes a system of value that the main character starts using. It's like,
I could have bought a giant's testicle for that.
Yo, this is only about 5 giant testicles for that.
It's not even really that much. We didn't even have time to talk about Mur. Murmurdane. Fucking coolest character in Aeroth.
We didn't get to chance to talk about the giant hole in witchcraft. We didn't get the chance to talk about witchcraft and how looking at its majesty, the demo of its majesty makes wizards piss themselves and pass out because they can barely understand it.
Let's see. God, there's so much shit. We didn't even get to talk about Nina.
Oh, we didn't talk about Nina.
Or his whole or Gilead or his wife. This whole game of Lionheart politics going on.
Yeah, we didn't talk about his big mama and the little mama and all of that. We didn't talk about E-word. Oh my God, we didn't talk about that guy. He doesn't deserve to get talked about as far as I'm concerned.
We should have talked about E-word.
Yeah.
That guy's a worm. All right. I think that'll call. We'll go ahead and
didn't
call
talk
that
about Genos. Didn't talk about Genos.
We didn't talk about Genos.
Yo. The little like I'm your senior brother. You grown 6-year-old man gonna call me senior brother.
I refuse to be the little junior brother in my style. All right.
It's definitely some Chinese shit when I think about it. Yo, you sure this is a Korean novel?
It is. But I had to check. I was under the impression it wasn't for a long time. I mean, given the main character's temperament and the lack of a system, maybe it's a Korean dude living in China. That would make sense.
That would be on point, actually.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, joining us again for this episode. It is a pleasure to be here and love these novels for a little while for you guys. And we will see you next time when we talk about some book.
There will definitely be a book talked about. Don't worry.
That's what I'm pretty confident about. But we will see you next time. Peace out.
Peace out.
Tiger Roller Coaster Productions. Tigers are scary. You try to get off.